Hi, thank you for joining us. We are thrilled to announce a new development at Spalding, Reading Stars. Reading Stars is an online resource used to assess students in various Spalding areas, generate useful data, and provide teachers with tools to analyze, modify, or differentiate instruction. This short video will give an overview of the Reading Stars program. To begin, it's important for you to know there are two different parts of Spalding's Reading Stars. The Online Assessment Management System, or OAMS, will give the user access to all online assessments, individual student and class data, as well as multiple reports to generate useful data. The Teacher Resource Center, or TRC, will give the user access to grade level specific skill analysis, valuable resources, and support activities. These two Reading Star components can either be purchased together or separately. Before we take a closer look at each component, let's look at how simple it is to log in. In order to log in, just go to the main menu of our website or bookmark Reading Stars. Once the user subscribes, their login information will be sent to them via email. This is also the same page that the user can log in to either the online assessment section or the Teacher Resource Center if they choose not to bookmark it. Let's start by looking at the Online Assessment Management System, or OAMS. OAMS includes assessments in phonograms, spelling, and reading comprehension, and can generate a variety of reports for each of those assessments. At the teacher level, teachers can administer assessments, run individual and class reports, review student answers for deeper analysis, and gain access to resources to help remedy or reinforce instruction. This is what the administrator view will look like. Administrators can add classes, teachers, and students, access students' assessments, run grade level and teacher level reports, as well as running individual student reports. Let's walk through the various assessments. This is an example of an oral phonogram assessment. Based on grade level specific objectives, the phonograms assessed may vary. This assessment will be used with younger students just learning and mastering their phonograms, as well as struggling students and new students as we progress through the grade levels. This assessment is administered in a one-to-one setting, so the teacher can listen for accurate and precise pronunciation of the phonograms. The teacher can input this data in real time, getting reports as soon as they press save. The teachers will give the written phonogram assessment paper-pencil in a whole class setting, just as they're accustomed to doing already. This will keep the handwriting component in place. As the teacher inputs the student data, it will allow him or her to quickly analyze individual students' level of understanding. Once all student data is inputted, OAMS will generate a report that lists the phonograms missed by frequency. This useful report will allow teachers to reteach or review the phonograms the students are having difficulty with, thus maximizing their instructional time and focusing on phonograms that need extra practice. The missed phonograms report can be generated at a class or student level. Per usual, teachers will give the Spalding Spelling Assessment monthly. They will only need to input the spelling words the student missed. This will allow OAMS to generate reports that show class and student gains. The Reading Comprehension Assessment will be administered online. Each student will have a unique login to take the assessment on individual computers, whether it's a computer lab or a laptop. This is what the student will see while taking the Reading Comprehension assessments. The teacher will see this screen. Notice the amount of information the teacher can get from just this one screen. The student's score is on the top right. The student's answer is noted in red if it was incorrect. The correct answer is indicated in green. And the question codes are underneath each question so the teacher knows what type of questions will need additional instruction. Was it a higher level or basic level question? A text structure, vocabulary, literary appreciation, or figurative language question, as well as the mental action required to answer the question. As soon as the students finish the assessment, the reports are generated and ready for analysis. Another great feature is the percent of students tested page. This shows when 100% of the class is tested or if there are missing students in any given assessment. If you click on a specific test, it shows the student's raw score, percentage, and color-coded proficiency level. In the spelling results, it also shows the SV word list instructional level for each student. Assessment results can also be viewed by student. This selection gives you an overview of all the individual students' scores. Those scores are also color-coded by proficiency level, so the teacher or administrator automatically knows how the student is doing. The proficiency levels are determined by Spalding's cut scores. This allows the administrator and teacher to monitor class and student progress throughout the year based on the teacher guide objectives. Not only do the proficiency levels show the growth made throughout the year, it can also indicate the fidelity of instruction to the teacher's guide objectives. These proficiency levels are also displayed when reports are generated. OHMS has 3 different reports to yield any data you may need. The 3 different types of reports are summary, comparison, and trend. Let's take a closer look at each one. The summary report gives 3 different useful points of data all in one report. Each part of this report is also displayed in the color-coded proficiency levels for easy identification. The bar graph represents the class results on any given assessment. The chart on the bottom right shows the amount of students in each proficiency level and the average score of each proficiency level. The pie graph on the bottom left gives the percent of students in each proficiency level. The comparison report compares 2 sets of data that the user selects. It shows the number of students in each proficiency level and the average percent score of that range. This report can be filtered by different student attributes such as gender, service code like SPED or Title I, meal code like free or reduced lunch, and intervention level groupings like 504, ELL, after school, summer school, and tiered groups for interventions. The final report is the trend report. This shows class or student growth from assessment to assessment or throughout the year. Reports like these will also be useful as we continue to develop online assessments. Spalding is already looking ahead and working on 2 more assessments. Expect the Reading Fluency Assessment and the Phonemic Awareness Assessment to be added to the OHMS section in the next phase of Reading Stars. Now let's talk about the second component of Reading Stars, the Teacher Resource Center, or TRC. Teachers gain access to valuable resources to analyze, support, or differentiate instruction. Once logged into TRC, the user will have access to grade level specific interventions and resources to help support instruction. Once in their grade level, the user can choose from which area they would like additional assistance. These sections are the same as the teacher's guides to keep continuity. Take a moment and read through just some of the resources offered in the planning section so far. This list and all other TRC lists will continue to grow as we continue to develop resources. This is an example of the quick glance procedure cards found in the planning section. Every step of Spalding's procedures has a purpose. These quick glance cards remind teachers of those important steps as they are in front of the class first implementing the procedures or refining them. This is another example of a resource found in the planning section. Spalding often gets requests for daily lesson plans. This resource gives all daily objectives at a glance on just 1 sheet of paper per week. This is a quick sampling of what you will find in the Delivering Resources section. One example from the Delivering section is a lesson planning template for sentence construction, which is usually writing objective number 1 in most grades. This step-by-step template walks teachers through all parts of the lesson and gives a completed sample lesson for their reference. Here are a few samples of what you will find in the Assessing section. Notice how you will find support information for OHMS, paper-pencil versions of all assessments, as well as other diagnostic tools. A couple samples from the Assessing section include an OHMS Quick Start Guide and a newly refined Fluent and Expressive Reading Checklist. This refined checklist will be part of Spalding's new fluency program coming out this school year. And finally, a sample of the evaluating section. This is a quick sampling of lesson activity suggestions found in the evaluating section. Now that we have highlighted some features of the two components of Reading Stars, let's review the pricing for these amazing products. Being a nonprofit, Spalding prides itself on offering its products at low prices. The price for both parts of Reading Stars is just $3 per student and $35 per teacher, or each component can be sold separately. If you have any further questions or would like to subscribe to Reading Stars, please email the address on the screen. Thank you for your time today.